Welcome to Real Yoga Talks. I'm Paula Mitten, and this is a unique masterclass series. We are looking at the yoga practice and how things have changed over the last 2 years, how we're using the yoga practice to support our lives. And today I'm absolutely delighted to be here with Yogi Anish Sharma, all the way from India. Like we were just talking, Anish is the first teacher to join me live from India on this series, and really excited to have him here. So Anish has been practicing yoga since 2008, right? And teaching for the last 6 years, about 6 years?
Yes, 2016 I started teaching. I started sharing my practice with others.
I love it. But that's not all you do. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what brought you to the yoga practice at this stage in your life?
So Paula, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me for this chat with Real Yoga Talk, and I am really looking forward to this. So I started back in 2008 while I was around 15, 16. I was around 16 at that time, and I had a lot of issues as far as my physical health was concerned. I used to get cold and fever every 3 months. Whenever the season changes, and we have proper 4 seasons here, so almost 4 or 5 times I used to have this fever and cold, and I used to look for answers. It was very embarrassing for me in the class, sneezing, and I was also shy during the class while doing this. So it hit me really hard, and so I started looking for answers. So as I was starting looking for answers, some people were telling me go to gym, people were telling me go run, some people were telling me go eat more meat or maybe eat milk. As you know, people give various suggestions. But then I gradually started looking for answers that will be permanent throughout my life. So I chanced upon seeing Swami Ramdev, if you have heard his name. So he's a very famous yoga practitioner, yoga guru in India. I think the most famous in India. So I chanced to see him on TV, and that's how my journey started. I started with pranayam, then yoga asanas, scriptures, then into a little bit of difficult asanas, and then it became a lifestyle for me. So
did you find that the pranayama was particularly useful, or was it a combination of all of the different pieces?
So initially, because I wanted to increase my lung strength, since that was related to my issue of breathing and sneezing and cold. So I wanted to increase that. And since I had learned that it is really great for increasing our immunity, so that's why I started with pranayam. Of course, these all are part of our yoga practice. And so with time, I started developing my asanas practice also with pranayam, of course. So yes, everything is required for a full lifestyle of yoga. As you know, you must have seen my Instagram profile also. I believe personally that yoga is not just something we do on the mat. It is a 24-hour cycle, and it is how we live. It is not something we do. It is what we live.
Yes. I love that quote. It's really powerful, because we kind of, as a student, and especially when we start to practice yoga first, we think I'll do my yoga for an hour and then I'll go and live my life, right? But talk to us about how we live, like how yoga is how we live.
So I am just a learner, as everyone I think is. We are just a learner. At the same time, when I am teaching my sharing my experiences, I am a teacher only then. Otherwise, throughout our life, we are all learners. Okay. So as I am learning, as I am experiencing, so what is happening is that when I am happy, or when I am satisfied, or when I am healthy through yoga, through yogic practices, through asanas, pranayam, dhyan, sadhana. So all these are included in our yoga practice. When I am happy through this, when I am feeling content through this, so I perform better at my duties also. I get to have a great memory also. I get to have great personal relationships also. I get to eat and choose healthy also. So this is how I think that yoga is not just only about something we do on the mat. it transforms our life. It transforms our life entirely from the time we get up to the time we sleep. Everything is then bound to yoga. So that's what I believe in.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And something that I saw on your Instagram account was that you said yoga isn't magic. Something like it involves consistency, right?
Yes.
That's really important, because sometimes we think that if we sign up to do yoga or if we buy a yoga mat, then that's it. We have to get on the mat. We have to show up every day. Talk to me about that.
So actually, what was happening is that some of my students were telling me that, sir, this is not happening, that is not happening. We have heard this is magical, but this is not happening. So that's how I got that thought that I should share this with everyone. That this is pure dedication. This is perseverance. This is consistency. This is not something that we do one day and we move our legs here and there, and then we think that this is others are getting the benefits, I am not getting. Why is it happening? It is because they are doing this with consistency and non-attachment also. We do not just think that we are putting in the effort and that's why we should be getting in the effort. It's something that we choose as a lifestyle. It's not something very forceful. It is something which comes naturally to us as a human. If we think deep, what are we doing with our life? What are we doing with our body? And then we think. It is very important to put in the conscious effort with the intent. If we do, only then we'll be getting out the results also, and with consistency, perseverance, persistence. So that's how I thought that I should be sharing that this is not something magical that you do one day and other day you will go into dhyan or sadhana. People go throughout their lives doing yoga practices consistently and still they do not reach the level of dhyan or sadhana or vairagya and then moksha. So this is really, really important that we know that this is really something that we have to do every day repeatedly, build a streak every day. It is not something that you can have just on the weekdays and then leave on the weekends. As you know, it's something that very now popular that we celebrate our weekends. So we give up practice on our weekends and just do 5 days a week. For me, as far as I think that this is not how our yoga is, and this is now how it should be practiced. It is throughout our life. It is throughout our life. It is something just like we eat every day. We do not ask why we eat every day. We bathe every day. We do not ask why we bathe every day. That's how, for me, it should be. So that's how I think about it.
Yeah, I love that. And it's not a linear practice. So when you say like let go of the attachments, because every practice is different, and every, the outcome is different. We feel differently. Some days we feel great for our practice, and other days we don't, but we do it anyway.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
So you talk about, we can get kind of attached to mastering a pose, right? We can get very much attached to mastering a particular pose, but that's not the true practice. Like, that's not the goal of the yoga practice, is to perfect the physical poses. That's hard for some people to understand, because maybe they start with the asana and they see people practicing asana, especially on Instagram. We see things all the time, and then we think that the goal is to master whatever the pose is. So explain that to those who are watching us now, and tell us a little bit about what the ultimate goal is, or how we can shift away from being attached to the picture of whatever the pose is. I don't know, like Urdhva Dhanurasana or something that looks good.
Okay. So that's a very good question. And it is really a great question in this contemporary times, especially in the age of this Instagram and online videos and practices. So let me share some of the basics of yoga, from where yoga has come from, and then we can understand why I think our yoga asanas are not the end in itself. They are the means to something bigger. So according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. To get rid of the vrittis of our chit, that is yoga. According to Maharishi Patanjali, who is known, as you know, for Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita, it's been written, Yoga su karma su koshalam. If you are skillful in your work, that is yoga. If you are skillful in whatever duties you are doing, that is yoga also. There also is one more shlok, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Samatvam Yoga Uchyate means you have to remain in equanimity, whatever the situation is. So that's what Shastras say, or the scriptures tell us. Those rishis who are purely like divine, who are in harmony with this universal consciousness, they wrote these things. I am not telling this. So we have to go back to the root. We have to go back to the roots and then learn from that what we are doing. Then we can really understand what yoga really is. So there are so many references of yoga in our scriptures, in our history, throughout our history, especially in India, Mahabharata, Ramayana, everyone great is doing yoga and then teaching yoga from our rishis. So this is what really yoga is. Now coming to the aspect of asanas. Asanas are really important also, as far as I think. So they are a part of our Ashtanga Yoga, as Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, Ashtu Angani, means 8 limbs of yoga. So every limb has its own importance, own benefit. But if you see, if we just think that asana is an end in itself, then that would be wrong. According to my understanding, my experience, then that would be wrong. We can only go into dharana, dhyan, and samadhi once we are healthy. If I am unable to sit like this, how can I go into samadhi? How can I then meditate? I cannot do that. I will be thinking about pain in my knee otherwise. Okay, if I am not comfortable inside my head, how can I think about higher things? I'll be constantly thinking that there is pain in my head. So first of all, we have to get rid of the vrittis of our physical body. Only then we can think about the vrittis of our chitta. Chitta is something very internal mind. But first we have to get rid of the vrittis. First, if I am ailing in my shoulder, how can I think about others? I'll not even be thinking about my family. I will be thinking that I have to get rid of this first of all. So this is that's the most important thing
to explain it, because I know certainly on our teacher trainings, one of the biggest challenges, especially I feel, in this part of the world, we're not used to meditating, we're not used to sitting, and that's the thing that comes up, the physical, like I need to move my leg, and all you can focus on is the way that you're sitting, your leg or your itch or your shoulder. It's not even the mind stuff yet, because it's the physical chatter.
Yes. So only if we are aligned properly. See, as far as I think, I am not telling that I am an expert on this. This is from my experience or my understanding of whatever I have read through our Bhagavad Gita, from Yoga Sutras also. So I think first of all, we have to be physically fit and healthy. We should be able to take in the food properly and then regulate our life. First these things should come into our life, and then we can think about meditating and going higher up on the ladder also of our consciousness. So yoga asanas are not an end in itself for me. They are a means to a higher goal of knowing ourselves, goal of being in harmony with this universal consciousness, to be able to tune our consciousness to the universal consciousness. So that's the higher goal. Okay. So through asanas we achieve that goal. So asanas, there are so many asanas. Not, as you know, not everyone can do everything. People are differently made. Maybe my limbs are not too stout, or maybe my limbs are stronger. maybe my limbs are not too long. Some people have longer limbs, as you can see in your students also. Some can bend more, some can twist more. It is natural. So if we start uh, comparing ourselves with others, we'll be only hurting ourselves in the long run, and will not be doing justice to our yoga practice or our yoga sadhana. So that is something I do not want like myself to think about, and I also tell others that this is not how you should think about yoga. Yoga is not something. It is not a competition. First of all, it is not something. It is me versus me at best. It is me versus me. It is me versus my yesterday self, not me versus you or you versus someone else. So that's how I think about this. What your question posed me, that asanas are not an end in itself, and it is just a means to something higher. Let me add one more thing. If asanas are an end in itself, then every gymnast does these asanas very well. So he should be called a yogi, he or she should be called. So Olympics, people see doing things on the rings. They do all sorts of things on the yoga, on the this floor also. They do all sorts of things. So why do not we call them yogis? Because they are not been able to get rid of the vrittis of their chit. They have not been able to conquer their inner self. They have been able to conquer the world on the mat, on the floor, on the rings, but not their inner self. So the purpose of yoga is to conquer our inner self, to get rid of the vrittis, our chit, to purify itself, to purify ourselves. And then once we purify ourselves, we become Sat Chit Anand, in tune with this universe, and the frequency of our universe resonates with us. That's how I think about this whole yogic lifestyle. And this question that you asked me, asanas and then the higher goal.
Brilliant. I love it. Thank you for that that explanation, because it's so, it's so good for us to hear that it's so much more than the physical practice. Yes, the physical practice is important, but we get to let go of the comparison and the competition and do the work without the attachment. Back to the previous question. That you just show up and do the work and take care of the physical body, so that we can go beyond that, right? So we can get to the deeper layers of ourselves. Something that I suppose in the West more so, I believe we don't focus as much in regular yoga classes on the scriptures. We might not, like, a lot of people who join us here are teachers, so they would know about the Bhagavad Gita, the sutras, but anyone who's here who are students who have never gone deeper than that may not be very familiar with them. Is this something that in your classes that the scriptures are brought in, or is it something that's so deep in your traditional roots that you study the scriptures anyway?
So in India also, not many people are interested in scriptures, let me tell you. So this is something I also have not studied it in my school or anywhere else. This is something I got involved in this naturally, I think. So it was something very, I had a natural affinity towards mantras. I really liked them from my childhood. So I really used to recite them. So as I grew up, as I studied Yoga Sutras, as I studied Bhagavad Gita, I wanted to learn some of those sutras. I wanted to learn some of those mantras, as they bring like a forceful thinking in me also. They concretize that aspect of what they are saying. They are reinforcing that aspect for me also. Sometimes when I get like too tired or lazy, or so mantras are actually a motivational thing also. They are, of course, they are primordial sounds, and so they get us in tune to the universe also, but their meanings are also very, very important. And in my class, what I do at the end of the class, I always finish with a mantra, so that at least few of the mantras few of these Yoga Sutras or maybe some shlok from our Bhagavad Gita. Those who are doing with me, those who are learning with me also, so they also get to know that this is really great, and also it calms us down. Also, if someone does it, they will automatically feel that this is such a calming effect. Let me share a like mantra, which is really uh, for great for all of us, which is our Shanti Path. So Shanti Path is, Shanti means peace. Path means like a something that we recite for peace for the whole of universe. Okay, so if you give me permission, I can recite so that you can also feel the impact of.
Absolutely.
Okay. Om Dhyo Shanti Antariksha Gom Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapa Shanti Roshadhaya Shanti Hi Vanaspatayah Shantir Vishwe Deva Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Kama Shanti Redhi Om Shanti 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 Om. So this Shanti part is for the whole of universe, for plants, for beings. There is no discrimination. Everyone in your part of the world, also in India, in China, anywhere, everywhere in the universe, we are praying for their peace. So this is, if we think like this inside our heart, so see how much peace we will get ourselves first of all. So it creates great vibrations also around us. We feel so content, we feel so satisfied when we think like this. Imagine if we are thinking like this 24/7. That may there be peace everywhere, may there be peace in everyone.
At this time in history, we need it more than ever. We all need to be sending peace out to the universe, to the whole world. So yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, this is for the peace of every living being on, including plants, animals, everyone, no discrimination. We are saying that let there be peace on earth, let there be peace on the universe. Not just external peace, internally also everyone should be peaceful. Everyone should feel satisfied. Everyone should complete in themselves. So that's what we are praying for. See, this is so like really important for this world, as you told. This is really important at this point, and this is a part of yoga practice. Unfortunately, not too many like I see not too many people doing this. Otherwise, this is a part. If you see traditionally in India, mantra chanting is a part of yoga practice. Is a part of yogic lifestyle. But today again, as you told, that the focus is more on asanas only. How am I looking in some asana? So that's what people say. Why I'm not being able to do this? What's wrong with my body? So focus is on that, not on these things, which really are for me. Asanas are a part of yoga, but these are more important in our yogic lifestyle, since all these aspects, yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So you see, asana is just one part out of the 8 limbs. So we do not think about any these 8 limbs at all, especially yam and niyam, which are some regulations that we have to follow. Yam includes 5 yamas: Shoch, Santosh, Tap, Swadhyay, Ishwar, Pranidhan. Shoch is cleanliness of our hearts also, outside also, of our body also. Santosh means contentment. Tap means hard work. Do our duties assigned as per our work. We have to do our duties with hard work. Swadhyay, to self-introspect, think about ourselves, what we are doing, what our role is. And Ishwar Pranidhan, surrender to God. Okay, so this is what we are not doing. This we are just, again, as you told, roll your mat, come on some day, and then we are done with our yoga. So this is not how yoga really is or was. Now it has become because of the onset of this social media and all. But again, for me, this is not the full cycle of yoga. Fully 24/7. let me share one more sutra with you from Bhagavad Gita. Yukta hara viharasya yukta cheshasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogi bhavati dukkha. Okay, so yukta ahara viharasya. Ahar means whatever we are intaking. Vihar, thinking. So it has to be in moderation. Yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Do your work according to your abilities, according to your full abilities. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogi bhavati dukkha. So that's how yogi can get rid of the sorrows if we are doing this. So this is how yoga is. This is what yoga really is. But unfortunately, we are not thinking about these things.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I want to take this conversation in a little bit of a different direction, because I know that you use the practice to, to heal your body, and especially with conditions of the lungs. And then in the last 2 years, we've gone through the pandemic where so many people have suffered with like a sickness of the lungs. Did that affect your teaching or your practice in any way, or did you use what you used to heal yourself? Were you using that with others? What did you see?
Okay, let me tell you that I am working with Government of India, as I told earlier, as I shared with you on Instagram. I did not tell here earlier. So I am working with Government of India in IT sector, the information technology sector. So that's completely different from this. I was actually a frontline worker during COVID days, and everyone around me was COVID positive, other than me. So I did not do anything else. Of course, along with yoga, I had some Ayurvedic products also that I grow in my home itself. But I knew, I believed that it has the power to be able to fight that. Of course, I took all the precautions as far as my mask is concerned. I had my first vaccination also quite early on, since I was a frontline worker. But everyone around me got that, and somehow I did not get that.
Wow.
So maybe because of the effect of yoga, I could not tell, because I have not proven it. It cannot be proven scientifically now. Okay, after 2 years, I cannot prove that it was because of my yoga. But I believe that it was because everyone, my senior, my junior, the whole of district administration, most people, only 2-3 people were left. And in my office, I was the only one who did not get this virus. So maybe because of that, but I definitely believe since 2008, since I have gotten rid more of that cold and breathing issues, so I can definitely vouch for pranayam, Kapalbhati, Bhastrika, and Anulom Vilom. These 3 pranayams, if you do every day, 5 minutes each pranayam. So if you do this every
those pranayamas are like they're also kriyas as well, right? They're like a combination of pranayama and kriya, where you're cleansing with the pumping action, like you're cleansing out the lungs, or like eliminating whatever is going on in there.
Yeah, so kriyas actually are a little difficult for some people. So kriyas, so they may be difficult for some people, but these pranayam, Anulom Vilom, which is in English translated as alternate nostril breathing, and Kapalbhati is our belly stroke. We suck our belly out and then inhale and stroke it out from our belly. Okay, so these 2 everyone can do. Only some precautions, of course, we have to take. Those who have high blood pressure or who have hernia or back issue, they can do this very slowly or with proper precautions. But otherwise, most people in the world, if they do these 2, I think most of the lifestyle issues, most of the issues related to diabetes, blood pressure, these things now are being proven also. Indian government has taken it up in a big way to put it on the world map through their ministry. Also, there is a Ministry of Ayush, which looks after this yoga and Ayurveda. So they are now WHO has opened a center of traditional medicines in India in Gujarat. Just a few days back, Jeff Tedros, or the chairman of the head of WHO, came to India and established that. So that means that it is really, really helpful. It is going to be proven also. Some people have already proven, they have been published, results have been published in scientific journals also. But now, my experience, I am 100% sure that this helps. And people around me are also 100% sure that it helps. And let me tell you, I have been sharing my practice for the past 6 years now. I mostly here in my town, which is called Udhampur, we have a army command here of Indian Army. So Army Command headquarters of Indian Army. So I share my practice mostly with them, and I have almost shared with almost 200 people here. So, and all of them have some kind of benefits, especially females have issues related to thyroid. So that's a big thing. And through pranayam, Ujjayi pranayam, it is called Ujjayi pranayam. So through that, it is really, really helpful for that. And also diabetes, blood pressure, everything can be controlled through pranayam. And as you said that breathing problem, your lung issues, if you have immunity issues, then naturally, if you want to boost, the only solution is through pranayam. So I completely believe in that.
So what I'm hearing you say is that if we do nothing else, start with pranayam, do some pranayam, like
Yes.
to strengthen your immune system, strengthen your lungs, and start to heal any of the things that are going on in the body.
Yes, I completely subscribe to that point of yours, that if we start, you just try to hold on some aspect of yoga. It will pull you in.
Yes.
I can assure you. But you just have to do it repeatedly every day, at least for 1 month. I often tell my students that if you stay with me for a month continuously in the class, then you will not be able to leave this throughout your life. I can assure you.
I love that. Actually, Aparna, who connected us to, she spoke about that. She spoke about 21 days of continually doing something to create a habit. So, and then that's it. It becomes something that you continue to do. So, so there's the challenge now for anyone watching. Consistency. We're right back. We come full circle in the conversation, right back to that. Consistently do the practice, some pranayam, and do it every day, and see if you commit to it for a month, what happens. You'll never stop if you do it for 21 days or for a month.
Oh, there are two words that are really, really important while doing yoga sadhana, yoga practice. One is vairagya, non-attachment. You do not think about the results. Just do because you want to do it. Just because it is a part of our life. We do not think, as I told, that why are we eating every day? Why do we eat every day in the morning or during our dinner? Why do we eat? Because we know it's our lifestyle. That's how we want to live. One more thing that I want to add here is, along with vairagya, there is a word called abhyas. Abhyas means repetition. To repeat it with persistence, to practice it with persistence, with consistency. You do not just do it one day and then leave for the 7 days. Then that will not work. Then you are not serious about your own self. Once you are not serious of, and one more thing, I was reading a book called Atomic Habits, and a line really got stuck in my head. So it said that if you want to develop a habit, you should try to identify yourself with that habit. The goal is not to master a yoga asana. The goal is to be a yogi. Yes. The goal is not to run a 21 kilometer half marathon. The goal is to be a marathoner, right? So once we think of ourselves as something that we want to be, then habits develop naturally. Then that will come naturally. If we want to be healthy, then we'll be looking for answers. And yoga is the easiest answer because we can do it anywhere, in our homes also, and it is now widely available. We do not have to go anywhere. And I also read somewhere that it is the only physical practice through which we get energy back. We get energy back. We are more energetic after doing our yoga rather than spending. We are getting energy back. So see, there are so many benefits.
Yes, yeah, it's so true. I love this because next week we're starting. I'm doing a 5-day training in here in the Facebook group about creating a home practice and like how to get consistent and have a daily practice. So it's perfect. This conversation is perfect to get everybody ready for next week. So we've got over the 30 minutes. I have had such an incredible conversation with you, Anish, and I'd love to keep going. We'll definitely have to have you back in for more of these conversations. But for now, I want to say thank you, massive thank you for coming and joining us and sharing all of your knowledge and your understanding of the practice. And thank you to everybody who have joined us today. I will be back next week on Thursday. Will be the last interview in the Real Yoga Talks unique masterclass series. So next week we're with Diane Bondi to finish off the series. But for now, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Paula. Thank you, Paula. Namaste, and have a great day ahead. And really, I enjoy talking to you and like understanding your point of view also, because since you come from a different cultural background, so it was really great to hear all of things from you. And again, really thankful to you for this wonderful gesture, wonderful invite. And really, again, I will keep watching and keep getting knowledge from your Facebook group. Those who do not, and a request for all of you, those who have not seen his group, please check out the group. There is a great knowledge, and people are sharing all sorts of knowledge on this yoga group, and it is really, really great. Once I saw that, once Aparna ma'am told me that you wanted to talk to me, I really checked your group, and it was really a great knowledge sharing over there. And thank you again, once again. Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. And what I should say, I'll pop a link in when I send out the interview as an email with Anish's Facebook group or Instagram page. It's Yogi Anish, but I'll pop the link so anyone who wants to follow and find out more, you'll be able to easily we'll him. Thank you. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.